Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Rick and I'm back here with the second half of May review videos. I'm rocking my Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash shirt because I actually went and saw Clerks 3 last night as part of the special Fathom events. I'm recording this September 14th. I'll actually probably be dropping this video tomorrow. I will say before we get into the reviews that if you folks have the opportunity to check out Clerks 3 while it's playing in theaters this week into the weekend, do yourselves a favor. It is a very fun yet emotional watch. So the review for that obviously will be in a future video, but I just wanted to mention Clerks 3. It was fantastic. Definitely recommend checking it out. We have 13 movies to talk about the second half of May. Like I said in past review videos, I'm going to try to expedite it and not read the entire review. If you do want to read my entire reviews, they're on my Letterboxd page. And there's a link down below where you can check that out. I think I'm going to lower the camera here, guys. I think I just wanted the Kevin Smith stuff in the background. So check that out if you want to read the full review. And the other thing I was toying with before we get into it was I was thinking about possibly maybe dropping a few review videos a week. If I can get everything recorded that I want to get recorded this upcoming week, to try to play catch up since I'm so far behind. I have everything that I watched in June, July, and August. So that's 6 videos, and then the first half of September. So 7 videos, and I have like 3 pickup videos. I have July, August, and a Hamilton book pickup. So let me know what you guys think. Should I drop a few videos a week or drop a review video? I don't know. I'm just trying to catch up so I'm not as far behind with that. But like I said, we'll figure it out. But yeah, so review video, 13 movies to talk about, second half of May. The first thing we watched was on Netflix, and it's a movie called Senior Year, which stars Rebel Wilson. It's about a girl in high school who has a cheerleading accident due to like a rivalry she has with the girl. She wakes up and she's basically been in a coma for, I think it's like 20 years, and decides to go back to school because she doesn't want to miss her senior year. And it was an R-rated comedy, but they really dropped the ball with it, honestly. Even the like her being in a coma for 20 years thing, which has been done before, I feel like they kind of dropped the ball with that, and it was just disappointing. Was not very funny, very cookie cutter by the numbers. A disappointing Rebel Wilson movie, which sadly has kind of become the case with most of her stuff. I gave Senior Year a 1 out of 5. There's definitely some, this video will have some big stinkers, and I think I had a tough time deciding what Hot Trash of the Month was because of the handful of stinkers, especially in this half of the month. The next thing I watched was actually on Peacock. I think I went through like my 2015 movies I wanted to watch list and tried to see what I had access to on streaming, stuff that Bridget really didn't have any interest in. And I watched a movie called Bleeding Heart, which starred Jessica Biel. It was a very short runtime. She was basically like a yoga instructor, and she was following this girl, and the girl ended up being like her sister that she hadn't been in contact with her whole life. Like Jessica Biel's a yoga instructor, and like I said, at one point she's like, "Namaste, mother effer," and I was like, "Really? That's what we have here?" And there's really bad acting throughout the movie by everybody involved. Rolling my eyes for sure, and probably one of the worst things I'd watched in a very long time up until that point. So yeah, I gave Bleeding Heart a 0.5 star out of 5. Definitely don't go out of your way. Don't watch that one. The next thing we watched was on Netflix, and is a film from director Sean Baker called Tangerine. As you guys know, I was a big fan of Red Rocket. I really enjoyed The Florida Project. And Tangerine was a movie that he had done all on like an iPhone 5, I believe. about a like transgender community, and so I was on board for sure. And the movie was good. Um, it takes place all on Christmas Eve and follows a group of working girls, we'll say, that are transgendered. Um, and basically, the movie focuses on them as well as an Armenian taxi driver. And you're trying to figure out how he ties into the story, and he does end up tying into the story. Um, Out of the three movies of Sean Baker's I watched, this one is probably my least favorite, but it's still a good movie. He definitely has a style. He likes to use regular actor or regular people and maybe like one or two actors. And the way he just shoots his movies, it's like middle America. It's just really, really interesting what he's chose to do with the movies he made. I believe he has one or two other earlier movies that I'd like to try to get a hold of and watch at some point. I believe he did something called, I want to say, Prince of Broadway, and then another one that I think is coming to Criterion soon, but I don't remember the title of it. But Tangerine was a watchable movie. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, didn't enjoy it as much as Florida Project and Red Rocket, which I enjoyed both of those movies immensely. But still a watchable, good movie. The next thing, oh man, the next two things I watched on very fun platforms. This one I watched on Crackle. Man, I was really trying to tackle this 2015 list because it's a 2015 movie that was on my to watch list called Heist, which starred, I have a list here, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Robert De Niro, Kate Bosworth, Dave Bautista, Gina Carano, and Mark Paul Gosselaar. Basically, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a casino worker. His daughter's really sick, and she needs this very expensive treatment. And Robert De Niro owns the casino, and he's a very shady businessman and decides that he wants to get this money through any means necessary. And it kind of becomes a heist flick where Jeffrey Dean Morgan's trying to get the money for his daughter to get the emergency surgery she needs. There's some twists and turns. Some of the performances are really bad in the movie, but this is pretty watchable. Once again, nothing amazing. I'm 4 months removed from this now. I don't really remember much about it. But I even put the last sentence of my review is, overall it's watchable, but very forgettable for the most part. So a watchable movie, but one I don't really remember much about. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. The next thing I watched was on Tubi, and it was also another 2015 movie on my to-watch list called Final Girl, which starred Abigail Breslin as well as Wes Bentley. So this was a really bizarre movie, basically about this group of guys who would take a girl, have her dress up and go to the woods with them. It was really weird, and Abigail Breslin was like a trained killer by Wes Bentley to basically kill these guys that were kidnapping girls, and not kidnapping, but basically like grooming them and then taking them into the woods and them going missing. Abigail Breslin is fine in the movie, but overall it's a weird movie, and it was not very good. Pretty laughable. Definitely scratched my head at a few plot points in the movie, and didn't really pay off for me. So Final Girl gets a 1 out of 5. Cannot recommend that one. Then it was we had RJ for a weekend, and we watched a handful of movies with him. The first one being Rocky 5 on Blu-ray. As you know, we're journeying through the Rocky movies, and this was definitely the weak point of the Rocky franchise for me. Definitely bottom of the barrel. This movie does focus a lot on the relationship between Rocky and his son, and doesn't have the classic boxing match in the the movie per se. It ends up like with a street fight, which was it was what it was. Like I said, it was watchable, but the weakest of the Rocky franchise, hands down. I did say 2.5 out of 5 for me. Then we watched Rocky Balboa on Blu-ray, which was the last of the Rocky movies before Creed and Creed 2. I'd heard good things about Rocky Balboa, and I was really blown away by how much I enjoyed that. It was actually my favorite of the first 6 Rocky films. I really liked like him having that one last like shot at glory, and the film tackles a lot of things. Rocky losing someone close to him, and how important they were to family. I'm trying to read the relationship between father and son, but now his son is, a grown man. But like I said, it does a very, very good job at pulling at the heartstrings like the Rocky movies do and being a redemption story. I gave Rocky Balboa a 4.5 out of 5. Really enjoyed Rocky Balboa. Like I said, my favorite of the Rocky franchise, the first 6 movies. Then the next thing we watched was I said on Blu-ray. The next thing we watched was on 4K, and we wanted to watch this one because RJ wanted to see it. He was interested in the sequel that was about to come out at the time we watched this, and that is Top Gun. Weren't sure how much he would enjoy it with the love story and whatnot, and he ended up really, really liking Top Gun. I really enjoy Top Gun quite a bit. Tony Scott obviously directed. Tom Cruise is awesome as Maverick in the film. Val Kilmer is great as Goose in the original movie. A fun soundtrack. Just does the whole humor, drama, action all blended together, and 35 plus years after its initial release, still is an entertaining, fun movie to watch, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 for Top Gun. So then the next thing we watched was on Disney Plus, and that was Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, which recently just won an Emmy Award apparently for like best movie to TV or something like that. I was very leery when I first heard Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers was going to be a movie. I was a little more on board when I saw that they were going to be voiced by John Mulaney and Andy Samberg, 2 comedians I really, really enjoy. And what this movie did was it over-delivered on the fun nostalgia of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, combined with a ton of pop culture references that were a blast. So many references in a few scenes in particular that we've gone back and rewatched and like paused. A very fun cameo now from a video game character that was a big surprise watching the movie. And the Easter eggs, man, are out of this world with this movie. And the story's fun. Like, there's so many pop culture references, but it's a really good, fun movie about like 2 best friends who had grown apart and them growing up on this TV show. And it's just a fun movie from start to finish. It's a shame it's a Disney Plus movie because I don't think you'll ever get a physical, but I wish it would. Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers gets a 4 out of 5. Definitely a fun watch. If you have Disney Plus and have not seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. The next thing we watched was on Netflix, and that is Jackass 4.5. As you know, I grew up watching Jackass in my teenage years and high school years. I was at the perfect age to be the target audience for it. So Jackass 4.5 came out on Netflix. Basically, some interview footage from behind the scenes of the 4th movie, plus a lot of bits that they cut out of the 4th movie, like deleted scenes essentially. And I enjoyed 4.5 almost as much as I enjoyed Jackass Forever. like the stunts, the bits were funny, and I enjoy the interview stuff and the behind the scenes stuff. Laughed out loud throughout the movie. There was a ton of male nudity in the movie, but for Jackass, you kind of are used to it, but this had a lot of it. So Jackass 4.5 gets a 3.5 out of 5 for me. A fun watch if you're a fan of that franchise. Next was a 2022 Netflix movie that I checked out on Netflix. Bridget kind of didn't have any interest on it, so I watched it one day, and it is called Choose or Die. Basically, a movie that kind of looked like a mashup of The Ring meets Stay Alive meets like Truth or Dare, all rolled into one. If you know me, you know I did not care for two of those three movies, being Stay Alive and Truth or Dare, which I think are both awful movies. There's some really terrible scenes in this movie. Very awful CGI, one involving like videotape coming out of somebody's mouth that was really stupid and went on way too long. And a few cool nods to horror lore. Robert Englund does the voice of somebody in the movie. There were a few cool visuals in the movie, but the idea of this video game basically killing people, they really dropped the ball with it, and it wasn't well done in my opinion. Choose or Die gets a 1 out of 5. Few more to talk about. The next thing we watched, I had never seen before, and it was on my best picture winners to watch list because I'd never seen it. And it is A Beautiful Mind, starring Russell Crowe, basically about John Nash, who's a mathematician. Russell Crowe is fantastic as John Nash, made the movie incredibly watchable. I will say the movie, for me, suffered from a weak second act that kind of like lost my interest. Paul Bettany is also very good in this movie. He gives a very fun performance as Charles. I wanted him to be in more of the movie, but the movie's obviously more of a drama, but Paul Bettany is excellent in the film as well. And the story can be hard to watch. It's very sad at times, but overall, a very watchable and powerful movie. I gave A Beautiful Mind a 4 out of 5. And the last thing we're going to talk about, the last thing we watched was in theaters, probably on like Memorial Day weekend, if I had to guess. And that is the Bob's Burgers movie, which is now available on Hulu and HBO Max. When this comes out, it's also on physical media. I will hopefully be getting my copy soon from the Video Game Movie Dome. I'm a casual fan of Bob's Burgers. My girlfriend Bridget is a massive fan. I've watched quite a bit of them with her, especially the newer seasons I've watched as they aired with her. So we checked this out opening weekend, and if you're a fan of the show, it is definitely a very fun watch. In my opinion, I kind of was reminded of the Simpsons movie. I was not a fan of the Simpsons. I went and saw the Simpsons movie. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I've only watched it the one time. I think I saw it in theaters when it initially came out. If you're not familiar with the show or a fan of the show or the humor, I don't think this movie is really going to suck you in unless you're a fan of like that style animation. There's lots of music in it. Like I said, Bob's Burgers is a very like niche thing. If you're a fan of it, you're really going to enjoy it. If you're not a fan or you're not familiar with the characters, probably won't enjoy it as much. It's a mystery movie essentially with some comedy, some music, and the kids are the best part of the show for me. They're also the best part of this movie. Jean, Louise, and Tina are the best part of Bob's Burgers for me, and they were the same in the movie. So I gave the Bob's Burgers movie a 3 out of 5. It's a fun watch. Like I said, it will be in my collection in the near future. So that is it, guys. That is everything I've now seen in May. 21 movies in total. And let's do it. The surprise of the month is Rocky Balboa. Was not expecting to like that movie as much as I did. Like it more than any of the other 5 Rocky movies that came out before it. and it just really surprised me. It blew me away. It was a great story. Sylvester Stallone, probably one of the best performances of his life, except for Creed, which I still say is probably my favorite Sylvester Stallone performance ever. So Rocky Balboa, Surprise of the Month. Hot Trash of the Month, I had a lot to choose from. Just in this video alone, I think it's stuff like Choose or Die. What else? Senior Year. Final Girl. Rocky 5 wasn't on that level, but I ended up choosing Bleeding Heart, which, like I said, was from the 2015 movies I wanted to watch list. It was on Peacock. Jessica Biel. It was bad. Like I said, some of the dialogue and acting in the movie was pitiful. The story was just lame. So that is it, guys. That is everything watched in May. Thank you guys for watching this video as always. I want to mention something. Hopefully you're still watching the video. I have something on the way from a company that I'm going to be working with, but I kind of want to mention it now. If you're interested, if you guys are familiar with Movie Palettes, it's a piece of artwork where they have basically a color from each scene of the movie, each frame of the movie, and it creates a diagram of a bunch of different colors. I have one on the way, but if you guys are interested, I know they have stuff on sale, but if you're interested, I have an offer code of DOWN15. I'll put it right here, DOWN 15. I will put a link down below in the description box. You guys can order it using the code DOWN15 and you will save yourselves 15% off. Like I said, I'll be doing an unboxing of my movie palette when it comes. So I'm pretty excited about it. You guys leave comments down below. What movie do you think Bridget and I went with for our movie palette? I bet you can't guess it. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think it is. Code DOWN15 will save you 15% off at www.moviepalette.com. I'll put a link down below. Also down below, be sure to check out links to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, where my full movie reviews are for every movie that I watch. I've been creating new lists. I updated my watch list, so all that is done. Friend me on there. I'll follow you back. Also, check out my eBay store, which can be found down below. If you guys are interested in stuff, you can message me on Instagram, email me, which my email, downthemovie@gmail.com, is down below. If you guys want to do deals off of eBay, but I have over almost 600 things now. I've been listing a lot of horror titles. There's VHS up there. There's 4Ks, there's Blu-rays, there's DVDs, there's box sets, there's video games, there's all sorts of stuff. So do yourselves a favor, check out my eBay store. Amazon wishlist is down below as well. And that is it. So thank you guys for watching, as always. And until next time, who's down to movie?